Breaking news, a shooting happens at a homeless camp in Colorado Springs. Here at noon, we're getting the latest.
Then 3 U.S. service members killed in Afghanistan as the bloody November continues. Here at noon, the latest on the fallen heroes.
We're under a mix of clouds, sun, and mild temps out there today, but winter's return, that's right around the corner. I'll have the latest on 2 upcoming chances for snow.
It's the first of its kind emergency simulation in Colorado Springs.
You're watching KRDO News Channel 13, where the news comes first. Your news starts right now.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm John Carroll.
And I'm Shannon Brenius. You're watching KRDO News Channel 13, and we're also live on the air on KRDO News Radio.
And we're tracking several big stories here at noon. First, breaking news, a shooting in Colorado Springs. Scott Harrison is live from the scene. Then 3 U.S. military members are killed in Afghanistan. Here at noon, the latest report from the Pentagon. And it's a mostly clear afternoon in the Pikes Peak region. Katie Donovan is breaking down your Tuesday. We begin, though, with that breaking news. A man is in critical condition at a local hospital after a shooting at a Colorado Springs homeless camp. Now, police have detained one woman in connection with this incident. KRDO News Channel 13 Scott Harrison is live along I-25, just north of the MLK bypass where that shooting occurred. Scott?
Yeah, guys, this scene is just off the highway in the northbound lane, so it's not affecting traffic. It's happening around 9:30 this morning, police say, and as we're showing you, police still have the area sealed off. Now, there is a concrete trail that runs through this area between the interstate and Fountain Creek, so it's common to see homeless camps along this area, and this was where the shooting happened this morning. Let's show you video from earlier. Now, police responded to a report of a shooting here and found a man inside a tent suffering from what appeared to be a gunshot wound. Again, he's listed in critical and unstable condition right now at a hospital, and police are questioning a woman about the shooting. No details yet on whether the two people know each other or what the motive for this shooting is. Police say it is rare to find a gun in a homeless camp.
We have seen probably more stabbings and more knives than we've seen guns. But it's something that we're always aware of, and our officers are always paying attention to that issue.
Now, police say that it is too soon to know any more about this shooting. The Major Crimes Unit is investigating. Violence, as we know, is part of life on the streets and in homeless camps. And earlier today, we spoke with a homeless couple, and they think they know the victim. And they shared with us how dangerous disputes among the homeless can be. We'll hear from that couple about violence in homeless camps and among the homeless coming up tonight. We're live in Colorado Springs. Scott Harrison, KRDO News Channel 13.
Thanks, Scott. We're also tracking another shooting. 2 people are recovering after they were shot. Police were called to the 4300 block of Morning Sun Avenue overnight. The victims are said to have non-life-threatening injuries. We've been making calls with CSPD, working to get any details on suspects or motives, and we'll pass that along to you as soon as we get that information.
Meanwhile, a chase ends with deputies firing shots in Douglas County. Now, this is a photo we got from I-25 in Dry Creek in the Centennial area showing the incident after it happened. Right now, streets in that area remain closed as the investigation continues. No deputies were hurt, but one of the suspects was killed. We'll be sure to pass along more information about this when we get it. And these shootings come on a somber day here in southern Colorado. It was 3 years ago today in Colorado Springs that 3 people were killed in a shooting at a Planned Parenthood. 9 other people were hurt. Last month, Robert Deere, who's admitted to being the gunman, was once again found not competent to stand trial.
Turning to weather and a look outside our community banks of Colorado Neighborhood Weather Network camera. Pretty calm scene on this Tuesday afternoon. Storm Tracker 13 meteorologist Katie Donovan is tracking it. And even though some clouds are rolling in parts of the region, it's not hurting temperatures at all.
Yeah, no, it's really not. Actually, a lot of us are seeing sunshine right now. So through the Pikes Peak region, we're under those mostly cloudy skies. But if you live off to the east of I-25, actually a really nice day where we're seeing black here. That is where the sun is in abundance. So mostly sunny conditions there. here, and you'll also find those clouds up in Denver. So that's going to be the picture today, that mixture of clouds and sunshine. But again, it is going to be feeling really mild. It just feels really nice if you step outside, especially for your lunch hour today. So that is what we're going to be talking about here over the next 24 hours. But we are watching the 2 different weekend snow events, so we'll have a closer look at that, what we might be seeing out of those coming up. Jonathan?
All right, Katie, thanks. Now right to breaking news from overnight. 3 American service members are dead following a roadside bombing in Afghanistan. 3 other service members were hurt.
The Pentagon says an IED went off in the eastern city of Ghazni. At this time, we don't know the names of the victims. The DoD is waiting to release their identities until family members are told. We'll be sure to pass along any new information when we get it. Meanwhile, this comes after another service member was killed over the weekend in Afghanistan. Sergeant Leandro Jasso's body was returned to U.S. soil today, coming in at Dover Air Force Base yesterday. He was killed from small arms fire during an operation in Afghanistan. The 25-year-old native of Washington State enlisted in the Army in 2012. Jasso received a number of awards during his service, including the Army Achievement Medal and the National Defense Service Medal. He was on his 3rd deployment to Afghanistan at the time of his death.
Meanwhile, happening now closer to home, the search continues for a missing Air Force Academy cadet candidate. Members of the Rocky Mountain National Park Search and Rescue Team are coordinating search efforts that started earlier this morning. Teams are focusing their efforts on the lower section of Long's Peak Trail. Micah Tice was last seen on Friday. His vehicle was found at Long's Peak Trailhead yesterday afternoon. The weather on Saturday was poor with significant snow, high winds, and bitter cold temperatures. This is a developing story. We'll let you know of any changes as they happen.
Well, new at noon, a first-of-its-kind training taking place today at Pikes Peak Community College as dental, nursing, and EMS students teamed up for a strategic simulation.
KRDO News Channel 13's Colby Crossley is live now. He attended the training and tells us more about it. Colby?
Well, John and Shannon, the training that happened here at Pikes Peak Community College was a way that all 3 of those programs could come together and better help their communication with one another. 5 different patients waited their diagnosis here at Pikes Peak Community College as students prepared for real-life scenarios.
So she has a history of asthma. The importance of this simulation is just to improve continuity of care for the patients that we serve in the community.
This is an opportunity for dental, nursing, and EMS to come together for the first time in a real-life scenario.
Independently, the programs here under the Allied Health umbrella at Pikes Peak Community College do simulation. We've just never conducted simulation together before, so this is the first of its kind.
You can just say, kind of wait.
Drew Maurer, an EMS student, says it helps with the confusion that the 3 disciplines might have when working together.
The benefit of it is to each of the disciplines to see how every discipline works and what they can do on a patient.
During the simulation, the dental students recognize the issue and start basic care.
He's having a seizure.
They then call the paramedics.
What's going on today?
To stabilize, assess,
and then we're going to check your lung sounds,
transport, and give life-saving medication.
Give 1 ml epi.
It's then passed off to the nurses, who work with the physician to reassess the patient and give a further diagnostic.
Last time we gave epi was 9:03.
All of this work is to better help better help toward better patient outcome. With that, I'll send it back to you in Colorado Springs. I'm Colby Crossley, KRDO News Channel 13.
A bit of a tongue twister. Okay, thanks so much, Colby. Now an update on intentions of Colorado's soon-to-be governor. In just 43 days, Jared Polis will be sworn in as the state's new executive. And these days, he's busy preparing for the big job. Polis stopped by the Colorado Counties Incorporated Winter Conference last night to talk to county leaders from around the state. He talked about education, healthcare, and transportation issues. Polis says he recognizes some of the people in the room taking action on state-funded roads like El Paso County Commissioners did with the GAP project and with road funding propositions 109 and 110, both failing in the election. Polis says it's time to reach across the aisle to come up with another solution.
I think what we have to have now is a broad stakeholder discussion, including with county officials who I'm meeting with here in El Paso County today, with business leaders, with municipal officials, really from across Colorado to figure out the path forward.
Right now, Governor-elect Polis says he's recruiting people to apply for his cabinet. Those positions will need to be filled by the time he's sworn in.
The thrill of victory. NASA's scientists celebrate a successful landing on Mars. Later, they describe what it was like in the tense minutes before touchdown.
I think so many of us were celebrating that. But first, if you missed out on Cyber Monday deals, well, one industry is adding more discounts today. You won't want to miss out.
And we're feeling some nice mild temps out there today, but the warmth not here for long. I'll have more on a cool down as we head into the weekend coming up.
Welcome back. Well, did your Christmas gift list get shorter after Cyber Monday?
Just a little. KRDO News Channel 13's Hannah Knutson is in the Web Center now with the Cyber Monday stats. Hannah?
Well, I was not alone in getting almost all of my Christmas shopping done online yesterday. Cyber Monday set records with nearly $8 billion in sales, even more than expected. It was the biggest single shopping day in U.S. history. Overall, online sales in the U.S. hit $500 million before 7 a.m. yesterday. Black Friday also set a record for mobile shopping. For the first time ever, sales reached more than $2 billion in online sales coming from phones. Mobile shopping sales increase every year, but sales from desktops still remain at the top. If you're still searching for deals, today is Travel Deal Tuesday. The day was made popular by the travel app Hopper. The Verge reports the app tends to spot the most deals on this day in 2016 and 2017. After checking some airline sites, I found many airlines, including Delta, Southwest, and Frontier, are not advertising about Travel Deal Tuesday, but rather are continuing their Cyber Deal Monday deals from Cyber Monday through tomorrow. And higher prices and shorter supplies are two things no one wants to hear when it comes to Christmas. The Pacific Northwest Christmas Tree Association says there is a tree shortage across the country. The organization blames the Great Recession in 2008. They say there was an oversupply about 10 years ago and growers planted fewer trees to save money. The effects of that are now being felt around the country. The association warns shoppers can now expect fewer trees to pick from and higher prices for the trees they do find. Well, for our web question today, we want to know, do you prefer a real or artificial Christmas tree, and why? Leave a comment on our Facebook or Twitter page at KRDO News Channel 13. Your response could be mentioned later in the show. John and Shannon, back to you.
Okay, Hannah, do you think she was rubbing it in just slightly?
Just a
that she's
little bit.
all done with her shopping?
Yes, I'm
Just a
excited about
little
that.
rubbing our noses in it. Okay, Hannah, love it. Shocking announcement. Later, we are tracking reaction to GM's plans to shut down plants and cut thousands of jobs.
But first, a happy story from the high country. See who nursed a wayward deer back to health.
And we'll be dry here in southern Colorado for the next several days, but by Friday, tracking our next chance for rain and snow. That's going to be the first of 2 snow events here. I'll have a closer look at those coming up next.